it's my time to present I call it the journey. I'll do my best to explain what we've done here and also how we integrated partners. But before that, I have a few more things I would like to share with you. This is what I have planned for this presentation. I'll start with talking about, some of you know my company. I'll spend just 3 or 4 slides explaining what we are. Then I'll just a brief note about our people that are hosting us here and our partner. Then I'll talk about the vision behind the journey that was implemented, the objectives of that concept, how it was implemented with the several steps, several phases, the architecture in place, how we stitched everything together, some results with actual figures, some numbers of gains, and what we are planning to do next, both in this property and also in our roadmap. So a brief presentation about Nonius. Today we serve more than 3,000 properties in 85 countries. We serve our clients through subsidiaries that are owned by the group, 12, and some service partners that we certify. And this has been, I'm a founder of the company. This has been 16 years of starting with a couple of guys. And it's the result of a lot of organic growth, client acquisition, but some M&A, some merge and acquisition we've done over the years. It's very sustained growth based on always on very long-lasting relationships. We have the clients from 16 years ago. That's the thing that we're most proud of. And a focus on one thing you may notice over the presentation. There's a lot of products that we do ourselves, and the growth is also based on cross-selling those products to the clients that we acquire. We acquire one client, one single product, then we do everything to sell something else to that same client. I mentioned sustained growth, and that's been the track record since foundation. Even in 2020, which was a really tough year for all of us, and this sounds a bit alien, what we're doing here right now, at least for me, that come from a country that we are all wearing masks still. It was a very tough year, but we could still grow in number of clients. Not in EBITDA or in revenue, because we had to help our clients with discounts, and lots of projects were stalled, but we were still able to grow really well. And the growth was also based on something that I'm presenting here today, contactless journey, mobile, cast as well. So products like that gave us that growth. And 2021 is going really well. We should be at least back to the numbers of 2019 that we had in terms of financial numbers. So this is a bit, the slide is a bit crowded, but I'll explain. One of the key to the growth of the company has been the completeness of a product suite. What you find in Nonius is really a vast offer. We cover a lot of what is guest-facing technologies, from prospecting to post-stay. Solutions that are built on top of products we manufacture ourselves. We're a service provider, but the technology that is core to those services built by us. We manufacture products from mobile marketing, internet access and networks, IPTV, even TV at end, cast, voice, digital signage, all built in-house. And a hub that you see underneath, you probably see the name hub. Now everybody uses the name. I think I was one of the first ones to use it. A hub is key to that integration, to the way we're able to integrate those things together. This product suite was also, as I told you, we cross-sell a lot. That's our main objective. Client acquisition is difficult. Once you get one, you need to sell more to that client. That's what our salespeople need to do. So this capacity to cross-sell has been the thing that is been able to sustain the growth. It also comes not only from cross-selling, but also from the portfolio we've been acquiring, and also some frame agreements we have with the major brands. Together with the products we offer, there's a large set of services as well. Some are bundled transparently with the products, but some can be acquired separately. You can get services to design, deploy, support any of the solutions we offer, but you can also get services like software development for a product, for a customization, or for a product built for yourself. And several of the products and features that you're going to see today in the phase when I'm going to show the journey, you'll see that some were built together, co-created even with our client here. So that was Nonius, C Containers, our host. It's just a brief note. If I'm wrong, Paul will shout. C Containers was before this was a Mandarin property. Was rebranded in 2019. It's owned by the Lore Group, that owns 6 properties, 2 in London, 2 in Amsterdam, 2 in Washington D.C., and the second property in London. It's opening this autumn. And we serve the group not directly, because you acquire the property that we were already serving in Amsterdam, the Kimpton Amsterdam. So that's how we started. But now we're really honored to serve all 6 properties today. Relationship with this property, C Containers London, started with a phone call to Paul in March 2020, something like that. And as was a bit before the pandemic. We were doing, the idea was to do guest Wi-Fi, voice, but then we looked at other things, because everybody looked at the other things. The world changed suddenly. We were working on, we already had, like Mew said, Joseph said, you had contactless, we already had contactless as well. Nobody called it contactless. So we started to call it contactless, and it captured the attention of many clients, including Paul. And that's how we started building this project together. And you guys some people already said, pandemic, the catalyst to accelerate everything in terms of digital transformation. We were no exception, and we worked to build something that also Brian alluded to, being able to offer all those phases of the guest journey. One thing that, we didn't start from scratch. It's not a new build or anything like that, and there were a lot of technology already in place. So one of the things that we looked at was, and Paul made it very clear from the beginning, we need to use what we have here. And there were some things already in place that were great to have, like Bluetooth enabled door locks, so that made our life much easier. And there were some other platforms for food ordering, guest communication. All of that was key to do the project, to be able to integrate those and not disrupt stuff that actually was working well. Although we have many of those pieces, we can also assimilate that into our mobile platform. But we also saw something very interesting. It was the leadership team was looking at this for the long term. I saw from what Paul was saying, other people in the leadership team, they were looking at building something that would last, and not just let's fix the people not contacting each other, but let's build something that will survive this phase and will be useful in terms of experience for the guest and operational gains. And they called it, actually, this name, Reimagining the Guest Journey, is not mine. It's not something I invented. It was the Sea Containers London that came up with this name. So now I'll go through really quickly through some slides that show what are the phases of the journey. You can experience as well in the app, but I'll say some words about these so that you understand better what was behind it. So starting with guests make a reservation in any hotel website on an OTA. We don't interfere with that. The mobile app platform is connected here directly to the PMS and accesses in real time the reservations that are available in the PMS. Based on the date of the reservation, we send an email inviting the guest to do the filling in of the registration card. Once the guest completes the registration card, we send an email to confirm that, and also we use that email to invite them to download the mobile app that we built for the sea containers. One thing that is important, you notice, is this is not dependent at this stage on a mobile app. It's all web-based, does not need the mobile app. Even on a laptop, on a tablet, anywhere you can do these phases. But guests are also able, if they already have a mobile app, to do this check-in or pre-check-in in the mobile app. And for the purpose of this presentation, I will always show this in the format of a smartphone, but you should know that it's also web-based. So what you see here on the left, there's a main menu in the app, and on the left, the first button is a check-in button, and the guest is asked for the reservation number and last name. That's the way it's authenticated. And here you can use either the Synex's, which is the reservation tool that is used here, or the OTA reservation number, and it works seamlessly, either one of the two. So no issues with the bookings from external, not from the website. Then our system connects to the PMS using those credentials and fills in the form. So the PMS, from the PMS, we get all the details to fill in the form. It's a bidirectional connection with the PMS that simplifies a lot the registration card filling in. One important feature to mention as well, was greatly valued, was that we can identify in the registration phase that if the email is from an OTA, those temporary emails that Booking.com creates, for example, and other providers. So we can identify those, and for those cases, we force the guest to fill in their email address. So that, for hoteliers, you all know, it means a way to convert into direct bookings, because you'll be able to connect directly to the guest and not depend on third parties. So very quickly, through the registration card process, guests are able to, language is detected automatically from the browser, but they can select a language, are asked for consent for data usage, terms and conditions, all the GDPR and regulation for privacy is abided. They sign the registration card on the mobile app or on their own device. They don't need to do signature on arrival. So you can get rid of all the paperwork stuff that is needed, or you don't need to use a tablet. There are solutions using a tablet. Once the signature is done, the user can still modify some details about the arrival time and other fields that can be activated. Guest gets a confirmation that the process is finished. We also send a confirmation email to the guest confirming the pre-check-in was done successfully. Usually it's the same email that is used to promote a room upgrade or some other things. So that it's all very flexible in terms of what is sent to the client. All the steps of this registration card, all the fields can be either added, removed, swapped in sequence, made mandatory or optional. It's up to you. We build it with the hotel and also with the person running GDPR and other people that may have a say into that. Data that we collect is all synchronized with the profile that resides on the PMS. We don't hold that profile. The database is in the PMS, but it's a bidirectional connection. So if the profile is not complete, we'll be feeding into that profile and can be used for any other tools. And all of that is done according to data regulations and GDPR, all that stuff. Our solution here, you can have a go, you can try it after this if you want. It's also a mobile key, so you don't need the plastic key. It's integrated with our partners from ASA Abloy, a long-lasting partner since the beginning that they have mobile key. And the one thing that we thought would not work, but it was really seamlessly, it was to also open elevators. It was something that we thought, oh, will it work? Actually, one thing that you should realize is whatever key you burn into a plastic key, and the permissions that are there and all the properties are the same that are passed into the mobile device. There's no difference. So it's up to the way you build the key. It's nothing to do with the mobile app, either ours or from someone else's. The only difference is, instead of a plastic card talking with a lock in RF, it's a mobile phone talking Bluetooth with the door lock. That's the only difference. It's a transport mechanism. Not related with the mobile app, but I already mentioned we were working on guest Wi-Fi as well. Guest Wi-Fi here is also provided by Nonius. We provide an access gateway of up to 10 gigabits per second. And we also provide tiered Wi-Fi, so you can upgrade your Wi-Fi and pay for it. And you get, I don't know how much, megabits, a lot. And a conference tool as well for running events, so even the person running an event doesn't have to learn about Wi-Fi controllers. Actually, as a very simple tool to configure an event, Wi-Fi for an event, and sell it in some cases. Now let's talk about some integrations with third party. I mentioned there were some tools already in place. The app integrates seamlessly with YQ and Allianz. Those were tools in place. YQ, we have something in the app that can replace it as well, but it's a great tool, YQ. Allianz is much better in terms of number of the type of platforms that can connect to. We have some message hub, but it's limited. It's getting better. And so we integrated that into the platforms, integrated as a web view, so it was really simple, done really quickly. And last but not least, on the left, we integrate it's not with a third party, it's with our Nonius PBX, another product that we develop. It's also available, that soft phone in the app. More stuff about what is in the app. You have restaurant menus, information about the spa, attractions to visit in London, and Brian already alluded to this, a way to remove collateral from the room and make savings on that and keeping the guests safe. There's a vast amount of information about property, facilities, any information that was requested, we load it. It's part of our service. You don't get an empty app with us. You get, in the day one, it will feel like the real thing. And then you have it's up to you to ask us to maintain it, or you have a CMS yourself and you can make the changes that you want at any time, and it's in seconds is in the app. This is quite strong. The app actually was first built 7 years ago to do guided tours, so that's why it's so strong in this aspect, and the platform evolved to do more. So you have a great way to promote local tours with information about the city, points of interest, guided instructions. It's not a third-party integration. It's all part of our app. It's included. It's free as well, so you don't pay more for it. Another integration, in this case, another tool that is in place, 7 rooms, right? That's the provider. I forgot to put their logo there. It's a way to reserve a restaurant and also rooms as well in general. That's all. Again, it was not an API integration, it was a web view integration. And there's more to it, but it's the journey in a brief set of slides. And I finish with departure. At departure, you can do express checkout. The app displays the folio. The guest can accept charges, and the checkout is actually then delegated to the PMS using the credit card that is kept in the PMS. And we sent, the PMS sends the invoice to the guest. So in this case, we still have some things to resolve in the check-in, in the arrival. Manik already told, we were working on payments. It's the only contact point that is still there. You still have to insert the card. On checkout, it's completely contactless at the moment. So people can leave without touching anyone, talking with anyone. So this is what we implemented. And one thing, and Paul can keep me to the truth, this was done in 5 weeks, right? So they signed, and then we did it in 5 weeks, right? It was done, it was also because of that, it needed to be done in 5 weeks because it was for the opening in August 2020. We started talking in May, and then we started to work it out by end of June, end of June, and then end of July was done. With the app in the App Store already with mobile key, and We had some help from Assa Abloy. There was some reprogramming that needed to be done, but that's actually the only on-site thing that was needed to be done. All the rest could actually be done from here to Thailand. So that's the journey that we wanted to have done by August, ready to open the hotel. But we also thought about doing other enhancements after that. It went well. It was time to think about other things. And we've been working on, you can also see it in the app, and if you register yourself as a member, and the hotel will appreciate that. We've been working on a membership module for the app. We didn't have that at all. We have other ways to authenticate with the app, and even with the membership number, but no membership module. But we started working that in January this year. Been doing that phase by phase. And in this case, it seemed obvious because with membership, it's also an incentive for the guest to keep the app. Once it's collecting points, can get promotions, that kind of stuff. So today, if you check it out, it's possible to view points, to edit profiles, and it's bi-directional. It works with the tools that were already in place to manage the loyalty program. More recently, a couple months ago, we also enhanced the casting experience. There was a casting product here, not bad, but we have something that could improve experience. Our cast solution integrates with the guest Wi-Fi portal, so when people do login, room number, last name, after that it's paired with the room. So no need for QR code, so we're talking about friction, so less friction. So we did a retrofit of that product by ours, and I think it's improving the experience. After that, if things go well, client allows us to risk even more, and so we also replaced the TV system that was in place by our own product. And the reason here was actually also to do with contactless, because in the mobile app we have a remote control as well integrated, and it was more complicated to do a development on the system that was here, to ask them to do software development than actually to replace the existing system. With the replacement of the TV system, we also reviewed the content and design. You see some screenshots of how it looks like the system today. One thing that we never lose focus, and from the beginning we knew that the hotel, the client, wanted to have the app as the focal point of the journey, so the TV is more of a complement, and even in the TV people are incentivized to, with a QR code, to download the app and use the app for the journey. Because simple thing, it's much easier than to use a remote control. You cannot swipe on a remote control. One feature, I'm not going to spend much time on this, Stuart already talked about. This is our room control and how it looks like, a bit of an animation. This was done not here, not yet. I hope we can address that later. But this is how it looks like for the Chateau Denmark property that we're doing together with Interrail and Muse, our partners here. So some screenshots. Now it becomes a bit more, maybe a bit more complicated, but I think we should Everybody talks about making it simpler, move it to the cloud, but the reality is not it's not as simple as people want it to be. This is not exactly what we have here. It's what we would have here if we had Interrel and Muse, because the other guys I don't mention. In the center of the diagram, you see Nonius Hub. It's our integration platform, and from here above is the cloud, below is on-premises, and you see on the left integrations with our own products. So even our products use the hub. So Nonius Internet, so captive portal, Wi-Fi, that kind of stuff. Nonius marketing tools. Nonius Mobile, all goes through the hub. On the other end, you see, for example, the website is run by Super Fantastic here, great name. And they have Revenate, integrates with our hub, Planet, Asabloy. You see Asabloy twice, credentials in the cloud, on-premises, Vision Online, right? And but you see, there's still a lot of stuff that is on premises. Not that some of those products could be moved, but it's moving, right? Things are moving to the cloud. Cast controller, that's going to be the one that's going to be difficult to move to the cloud. It's a network appliance. Nonius Voice, it's a PBX. It can go to the cloud. On larger properties, not sure about that. Nonius TV backend could be cloud-based. In this case, it's a large property. We have it on premises. And other stuff that have to be on site, like a wireless LAN controller. And for example, if we had Interrel here, that's how Interrel would also integrate with our hub. Basically, what we're doing is for everything that is on premises, the gateway, internet access gateway in this case, but it could be a router, it could be a FortiGate or something like that, something that is able to set up a VPN IPsec tunnel to the hub. The hub is also a VPN concentrator. It's a cluster of servers and VPN concentrators. Can actually just make it transparent to integrate. So the same API, even for these things that are still on premises and gradually are moving to the cloud. And one exception here is that doesn't go through the hub. You see it on this side. Synexis, 7 Rooms, Allianz. So nothing that is, everything that was done by web viewing, embedded the web views, is done directly with the mobile app. But it was quick to do. That was the good thing about it. So this is how all of our integrations are done. Actually, it's a hub in the middle. Whatever is on a property, we just push it to the hub. What's in the cloud, like Muse, in this case here, the PMS is on premises. It goes to the cloud through the tunnel. Most of the PMSs today are in the cloud. No issues with doing this kind of tunneling. No need for that. Still a bit about architecture. I think it was Brian already alluded to that as well. We wanted something to simplify the way staff would work from home as well. It was a challenge, not only the issues we had with guests, but the need from working not from home, working from anywhere, and working VPN less as well, because people could take some router home and plug a telephone, and it would also work, but you would have to give all of them a FortiGate or something like that. So Paul challenged us to, instead of doing that, well, they already had Microsoft 365. It was easy to to use Microsoft Teams and Microsoft phone system. There is a recipe for that as well. So we didn't develop anything for that. This is just integration, actually, no software at all. We have the Nonius PBX. We went to the market for the session border controller, the one that we thought was the most compatible with the Microsoft phone system. It's from Audio Codes, actually. And it was 3 days of configuration, something like that. And we were able to put stuff working from home seamlessly. What this means is if an extension handset was ringing here before this, it would ring here and would ring on their Microsoft Teams. Their extension is mirrored to the Microsoft Teams software client, and the other way around. They could use also the Microsoft Teams. I mentioned a bit of timeline during the presentation that this summarizes it. So guest Wi-Fi was done in May. Then we had to do a mobile app, mobile check-in, mobile key for the open in August. Then gradually we've been doing a few more things. So the voice was done a bit later. And we've been running software development. That's really all. The rest is products that were already done, were more of configuration. That loyalty program is actually created with Paul and with the people from marketing and sales that been contributing to that. That's the great thing. It's I don't need to do a lot of effort in terms of roadmap. People just tell me what I'll be able to sell. That's less risk you can get in this business. And more recently, retrofitting of TV and cast, as I mentioned. We're quite happy about the results. The client is happy because they think that we can do a bit more things here. And was about safer guest journey, improving operational efficiency, enhancing guest experience. I think that all of that was done. In more detail and now numbers. In terms of so the hotel reopened on the 15th of August, right? And until December, it had 50% of people using online check-in and 30% using mobile key, which compared with data from pre-pandemic, maybe it's the pandemic, maybe it's a great job we did with the app, but that's the result that we got. I was happy because we had other properties with mobile key and it was on the 15% and suddenly doubled it. So congestion at the front desk and collector from the room was removed. There was great feedback from the guest surveys. Staff working from home as well, with supporting the clients. And we have here sorry. And as a bonus, I'm not sure if I can reveal, but we had the 100K, right, of food ordering in the app, through mobile. A bit more data, more now on savings. So savings from a printed collateral is, that's folders, information, menus. It's estimated to be around 14K per annum. Savings on key card replacements estimated to 3.5K. Savings on commission fees. Remember about collecting the email address from the real one and not the booking.com one. The estimate here is 115K per annum of savings. And another thing is, according to information we have, the hotel outperformed the market consistently from August to December 2020, and I think this played some part into that. Also, quite positive impact. One day everybody will be able to measure this easier than today, but reduce the key cards, reduce the cardboard cardboard folders, registration cards. It's all paperless now. No printed collateral in the room, nothing to dispose. That's the advantage. And also we added in the app you can also find press reader, so magazines, newspapers were also stopped from making available that. A couple more slides and I finish. So in terms of the roadmap for this property and stuff that we're talking with Paul and the client, we, on top of the priority, is to complete the contactless, and with pre-authorization. Actually, it's the only touch point, contact point that people have. They still have to insert the card. So we're working with the Planet on a pilot very soon to make sure that we're able to cover all the journey without contact points. And we'll be enhancing the loyalty program with what we call connected stay. So the client will also be able to see what stays counted for the points that they acquired. Also will connect directly to AZDS, right? That is a tool in the back to manage the loyalty program. And we also plan to run to skip YQ. We'll try. We have our own way to do food ordering with direct connection to the POS, and we're going to do a trial on that. If they like it, it's much less expensive. And we want to revisit the room control, the possibility to do not only for guest experience, but I think we can do power savings out of that. If it's only for guest experience, maybe it's not worth it, but there are use cases that can justify the investment with power savings. And this is my last slide. This is just a snippet of what is our roadmap. So soon to be released, we have this. It's a simple feature, but we noticed that in some of the implementations we've done, this could be done with tools like Allianz and other messaging hubs. But basically, it's to notify the guest that the room is already allocated, and it can go through SMS, through email, through other means. We're going to add that to our own platform so that we're independent of any of those other tools. We'll be extending our messaging hub to do WeChat, WhatsApp. We are having a lot of requests from Asia, and WeChat is the holy grail for that market. And we're working as well, and that's quite a cool project, to do face recognition for access control and passport check-in. It's not here, it's in the US, where those things are simpler to do, but then let's see if we can adapt it for the regulations in Europe as well. We also have, and it's the same client, we're going to have a voice activation system. It's not Alexa, it's not Google, it's something built by us for room control and ordering. That's what hoteliers tell me. Ordering is the key. It's the killing app, not the room control, but it's going to be doing both. And later, that's later, I think only in 9 months from now, that's the location-based services, more geofencing. And this is going to be done for, well, first for large resorts. We already have orders for that. And it's to do, well, with promotions, with wayfinding, stuff like that, but also to do with the power savings as well. Because if you know the guest is away from the room, you can optimize power based on them not being there or being very far away. So our roadmap is, I'm responsible for the roadmap, but I don't do much work. I actually just ask clients to tell me what to do. So you're gonna have the chance to do that. I appreciate that if you can. And maybe with the questions that you'll be asking the panel, I can write some notes and build something else. But if you have a project yourselves that needs some customization, some software development, or some adaptation of what we have or what we already have in the roadmap, would love to hear from you about that. Thank you very much for your time, and now we're gonna move to the panel, right? Yep. That's the panel is gonna be moderated by Brian, and I'm sure you have questions, and if not, I'll invent some.